If I can begin and say a big congratulations to the TI Madhya Sangam for the job well done over the past. And I believe your organization has been complementing the work that we do for our ministry, that is assisting the disadvantaged members of our community. So thank you very much for the work done so far, and I look forward to working with your organization to take our services further to those disadvantaged members of our community. On that note, there are a couple of reasons as to why we are moving away from Suva and coming down to meet you at this level, is to share our experiences during our travels, and at the same time get to hear what your issues are, what your successes are, and how we can come and partner with you. Let me remind you of our Prime Minister's stand. In order to avoid the dependency syndrome, he says, the government will come halfway and you will come halfway, and we will meet in the middle. That means we look forward for equal participations from individuals and organizations to ensure that we reach the commitment that our government has made to the people after the September elections. Okay? We are here to empower you, we are here to improve your lives, but we are also here to encourage you to partner with us and not be totally dependent on handout mentality. Okay? Some of the issues that I'd like to share with you as a woman, as a teacher I mentioned, as a mother, and now as a minister. Being a woman is a challenge in itself. We have to remember that. Girls, women, it's a big challenge for us to be women. We have to overcome a lot of obstacles in our life. We have to step up and rise for people to take us seriously. I have gone across a lot, I'm sure you are going across a lot in your lives in terms of looking after your families, instilling values in your children. And of course, one of the biggest issues that we women face in Fiji that is currently on the national agenda is the need to reinstill family values, the need for us to strengthen our cultures, and the need for us to prevent domestic violence in Fiji. Wherever we go, we say currently Fiji stands very high in terms of domestic violence. And that is one of the biggest issues that is faced by women in our country. 62%, close to 62 to 64% of women in Fiji have experienced abuse at the hands of their intimate male partners, their spouses, their husbands, whereby it is the very partners who are supposed to protect us. Okay? So gone are the days where women suffer in silence. We are happy that women are speaking out now. That is a progress made. But a humble plea to the male society. I know a lot of men around here, and I'm sure you're very loving and caring to your families and your wives. We need more men in the society who respect their wives, who respect women, who respect girls. And the way to start that is going back to our cultural values. Strengthening our family values, changing our mindset. And a change in the mindset simply means that we start seeing women equally. And what we have found during our consultations is it's sometimes we women are not in solidarity. And I hope you understand what I mean. We women, we want others to take us seriously, but we have so many issues within organizations, within communities, within groups. So it's high time we let our differences, we set our differences aside, okay? We stop belittling each other and we rise in a united front for others to take us seriously. So that's the biggest challenge that we women, we need to come up very strong and clear and support women. Fiji at the moment has the highest representation of women in politics. Okay? We have 4 members on the government side, 2 ministers, 2 assistant ministers. We have the leader of opposition as a woman. We have an MP as a woman. We have the Speaker of the House as a woman. We have the Secretary to Parliament as a woman. We have business women around. We have women leading organizations. We have women as principals, and the list goes on. That shows women in Fiji are progressing. And thus it becomes only right that we promote and push other women to take up leadership roles. So we can take your views forward. And that can only happen, ladies, if we are going to be united. Whether it's your organization, whether it's in your school, your neighborhood, within families. We need to stand solid when it comes to women's issues. I'm sure if we take a moment to think, somewhere within the heart, we pull ourselves back when it comes to supporting other women. And that's a fact of life. Let's accept it. If you look at the results of our 2014 elections, a lot of women stood up as candidates for the elections. How many women progressed? 6. If you look at Fiji, we have a women population, women and girls, 49%. We make up 49% of Fiji's population. And yet, we only managed to push close to 20% of women into parliament. Because we do that because we don't trust women. We think women are not capable. That mindset we have to change if you want more women leaders to come. If you want more of your views to come forward. And I hope along the 4 years, my ministry with other agencies that are working will help us change the mindset if we want to see our voices heard. Okay? This is a progress. We are making progress. Sometimes I talk across with the guests from overseas. They share the same story. The nation is 30-40% women and no woman makes it to the parliament. So it's something for us to think, and I will leave you with that question to think. How can we work together? By putting our personal differences aside, how can women trust women? Right? So that's one of the issues. The next is, when we talk about women empowerment, we create awareness about legislations and laws. We create awareness about services that is available to women around the country. We help you with tools that is going to help you improve your livelihoods. Because at the end of the day, we have found out when families are into this cycle of poverty, these are the ones we classify as the disadvantaged and the underprivileged. It's the women who are given the responsibility to look after families. Okay? Your spouses go out to work. The rest of the responsibility falls on you. So again, like I said, you come halfway, I will come halfway. And we will meet to see how we can improve your lives. Today, when we'll be handing over you the sewing machines, these are the tools. I'm not promoting a handout mentality or a dependency mentality. This is for you to engage in activities that is going to bring income to your families. And I hope that these machines will be put to good use by whoever it is, whichever groups it is distributed to. Please don't fight over it. And in case it gets broken or stuff, please, it's your tool, it's your machine, it's your property, look after it. Because when we go around inspecting our IGPs, we find the machine lying in a corner in a clubhouse because it's broken down. So it's your responsibility. Treat it as something that is your own. Treat it as something that you would buy with your hard-earned money. I'm sure if you buy something like this with your money, by paying installments every week, every month, you value that, right? Because it's yours. Your money has gone into it. So similarly, the government has invested money into this, and the government's money is your money as well. So you are privileged to be having this. We receive requests almost on a daily basis for these tools. So you are privileged to be receiving close to 15 machines. If you put a monetary value to it, it adds up. Okay, so please look after it well. And should you need some more assistance, we will discuss with your members to see how far we can take you on that. Secondly, again, there's a lot of things being said about domestic violence and family violence, which I have mentioned. Our Prime Minister says this is on the national agenda. Combating domestic violence is top agenda for the government of the day, and of course for our ministries. And services and help is available for both men and women. We are not saying that only men beat up their wives. We have women beating their spouses as well. So let's face it, it works both ways. It works both ways. So please keep that at the back of your mind. Men are also subjected to domestic violence. Children are also subjected to domestic violence. Do not abuse the situation saying, well, I'm a victim of domestic violence. And so it works both ways. The law will take care on by looking at things on a fair basis. And in terms of that, again, we need to go back to instilling family values in our children so that in the near future we are able to bring the levels down. That can only happen with respect and tolerance for each other, respect your spouses, value your children. Moving on, and of course the last thing here, the Madam Vice President mentioned the word reach. Our policy for this year is reaching out. Okay, reaching out this is what we mean by reaching out, coming down to you and having communications one-to-one level. We've used this opportunity to be in the north to reach out to many communities. Yesterday we were at Nandongo to open the Women's Resource Center there. We met up with a lot of communities there, and we passed the same message of the welfare of families, looking after your health issues also affect women and men. So please, when you go out to communities, relay our messages as well. We are shocked and appalled at the rise in NCDs. Every day we hear about somebody losing a leg or a limb because of diabetes. That all comes down to the fact that we are not eating right. So eat right, grow your own fresh fruits and vegetables. I've seen you have a very beautiful climate. There's abundance of land around. You can conduct your backyard gardening, right? Total dependence on frozen and oily, greasy, sugary. It's not good. Instill those values into your children. And of course, send all children to school. Use the government's initiative for all children to be in school. Make use of that opportunity. Please send all children to school. Because these are the children we are looking at in the next coming years to lead the country. We need educated people to lead our country. And the government is investing very heavily into the health and the education sector. So on that, and of course we have, I think you are all aware of the National Women's Expo. Women look forward to that. This is going to be held in October 14th to 16th, once again in Suva. And we have started organizing our divisional shows. So for further information, we have the Director of Women here who will advise you more on that. This year in the Expo, we expect women's groups to come up with quality products. Quality products that's going to fetch you more price. And the ministry is here to assist you prepare for the National Expo. Last year I found out that whatever products women made and displayed during the Expo, within 3 days everything was sold. So use that opportunity to make money for your clubs and organizations. And of course, finally, once again, if I can thank you very much for the hospitality shown, and I wish your organization the very best. I met up with some of your executives during the national conference, okay? And I have also assured her that we will work with organizations that want to move forward. We will work with organizations that have a vision. And we will work with organizations that are going to complement our ministry's work. We believe in positivity, so I'd advise you to be positive. Challenges come and go. Nobody said life is going to be easy for us women. It's not easy, especially for rural women. So we need to rise, we need to step up, and we need to make a mark for ourselves. And we need to create a society which is safe for our future girl child to come in. And for that, once again, I look forward for your support and cooperation. And on that note, on behalf of my team, my permanent secretary, Director of Women, and the officials all the way from Suva, thank you very much. Thank you.